What do I have in common with my cat? And I have the same question about bacteria. What do I have in common with bacteria? And also a particle, a subatomic particle, or even a string. What do I have in common with a particle? So
a particle,
yeah,
a bacteria, a cat, and yourself.
Cat. Yeah. And that means anything, really. But
okay.
One thing I know is that, well, I don't know if I know it, but there is, well, we're made of particles, so in some sense there is a connection between all of them. And there is a theory called quantum mechanics, where they, in physics, introduced. It's a successful theory that describes reality, but not everything. But when that was born, the quantum mechanics, they had a lot of discussion about consciousness. And today, when we had this morning session of meditation, I listened to the sound of the AC, and then I realized that I'm aware. My cat is aware, or maybe even awareness itself. And what about other bacteria and other things? And what is the limit? What do we all thought about consciousness? So, for example,
how far down the chain does consciousness go?
Yeah, exactly. What is the limit? And
okay.
So, and for example, Buddha, what I understand, he was actually meditating on he asked himself, I am a cat, I am a bacteria, and he could, when he meditated, he could, what I read, see the smallest parts of reality. I don't know how he did it, but so what is when you meditate on I am a particle, what do you find?
Okay. Well, I'm going to answer your first question about what do you have in common with a cat, a bacteria, and a particle, and then you said, or anything for that matter. So let's start there. So let's take yourself. Would you agree that you exist?
Yes.
Would you agree that your cat exists?
Yes.
Would you agree that particles exist?
Yes.
Yes. You mentioned them, so I'm just taking. Would you agree that bacteria exist?
Yes.
And then you said, and anything else for that matter. So let's take a few other examples. Would you agree that a thought, when it is present, exists? Please say yes.
Yeah. Okay, that was not a trick question. Yes.
No. This is not a trick question. Don't worry, I'm not tricking you. I'm just being straightforward. Would you agree that a toothache, when it is present, exists?
Yes.
Would you agree that anything at all, whatever it is, when it is present, it exists?
Yes.
So would you agree that existence is common to everything?
Yes.
And therefore cannot be the property of any particular thing. It cannot be the property of or limited to any particular thing. Well, let's back up one. When we say a cat exists, or a thought exists, or I exist, is there any difference between the existence of each of these things? the quality of existing? Is there any difference between the quality of existing?
No, precisely.
So existence is the same
Yeah.
for everything,
Yeah. So,
and therefore cannot be limited to any particular thing.
no.
Now, let me just. When a thing disappears, what happens to its existence?
Are you talking about? I mean, usually it's transformed to something else.
No, I'm not talking about the cat or the particle. I mean its existence. What happens to its existence? Existence is common to everything. But when a cat disappears, where does its existence go?
There can be many answers to that. If that is a question to me, there can be many possible answers to that. Or what do you mean?
Can existence become non-existent? Can it disappear? Anything that disappears must disappear into something. Where would existence go when it vanished? Into what would it dissolve?
From my own personal, I don't know.
The answer is existence cannot cease to exist. It doesn't disappear. So we normally think that every object, all these innumerable objects, the people, the cats, the bacteria, the particles, the thoughts, the toothaches, we normally think of all of these as objects which have existence, which have their own little packet of existence, which disappears when the object disappears. But are we sure that objects have existence rather than existence having objects?
When you say we, are you bacteria now, or what are we?
No, you and I.
You and I.
Yeah, you and I. Yeah.
Because
all of us.
the thing is that I'm talking about taking perspective from from our own experience. So, for example.
But let's stick with our own experience. To take the existence of this glass. Takes its existence and the existence of the flowers and the existence of your thoughts. What is the difference between the quality of existing in each of these cases? Are there different kinds of existence? Or is existence always the same fact?
I mean, from my own experience, it's a perception of something. Or are you?
I grant that the appearance of the glass and the flowers and the chairs are different, but their existence, their quality of existing, is that not the same for everything?
Yeah.
When we say about the glass, it is. When we say about the flower, it is. When we say about the chair, it is. When we say about the person, she is. When we say about the light, it is. What is the difference between the isness of each of these objects?
No, in that sense, it's the same.
It's the same. It's the same. So, isness, being or existence, is the common element in everything, and is therefore not the particular property of any one thing. It is not limited to one thing. It is shared by all things.
Exactly. So, what are your thoughts then about when it comes to where?
But hold on, just
Okay,
pause with the implications of what we've just said. We said that the essence, the existence of everything is the same. It is shared. Existence is the one thing which is not a thing that all things have in common. Now, what is there to a thing other than its existence? The way to find that out would be to remove existence from the thing and see what remains of the thing. If we were to remove existence from this glass, what would remain of the glass? Nothing. So what we're saying is that there is a single existence, a single being, from which all things borrow their apparent existence. But that being, that isness, is not the property of any particular thing, or is not limited to any particular thing. In other words, it is unlimited. So what we're saying is that that isness is not divided up between things. We're not saying this has a certain portion of isness and this has a certain portion. We're saying there is a single, unlimited isness or being from which everything borrows its temporary existence. Now just go one step further than that. If we go to the isness or the being in ourselves, that is the experience we refer to when we say I am. When we say I am, we refer to our being or our existence. And in order to be able to say I am, we must know that I am. And the experience I am is not known by something other than itself. When we say I know that I am, the I that I am is the same I that knows that I am. Therefore, it is our experience that existence is known by itself. It is aware. So existence is not something dead and inert. Existence is aware. And the religious name for that is God. Self-aware being, from which all seeming things borrow their apparently individual identity. That's what God is, self-aware existence. And it is shining as everything. There is nothing to anything other than its existence. In other words, there is nothing to anything other than God's infinite self-aware being.